Oh, hello. Hello, Heidi ho there. How are you doing today? It's been a little while. I know it's probably been too long. Honestly, how long has it been? Ugh. So I know it's been a while since I've posted anything on here, and you all are welcome to an explanation, or I'm obliged to give you an explanation? Obligated to give you an explanation? You deserve an explanation. That's probably the one. So there's a few things that we're going to talk about in this video. First of all, I've been streaming fairly often, nearly regularly, over at my Twitch at twitch.tv/Nathanblakegames. So if you want to know where you can continue to get daily content and stuff, it's right over there. And it has been for a little while. I don't know why you're not there. You tell me. I'm just messing with you. I should have done a better job letting people know about it and stuff. I made lots of announcements on my Twitter and stuff, but not everyone follows my Twitter, which is at NathanblakeGame, by the way. Link in the description and up there. But this video is not about just telling you and self-promoting my other social media platforms and stuff. It is really an explanation of what's going on in my life and why I haven't been posting very many things in general, video-wise, here or other places that I may or may not have posted videos in the past. What it comes down to is several months ago, I discovered that I had some more major health issues. And it's just one of those moments where you kind of realize that you're kind of more run down than you even realized that you were. And you kind of take a step back. This happens more when you're an adult, I think. Maybe it happens more when you're an adult and you have bad health. I don't know. Other adults, tell me in the comments if you've experienced this before. Whether you have bad health or not. So just a fair warning for you younger people who are watching, this can happen. So you're just kind of trucking along, you're just doing your normal 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it, and then you suddenly realize that you're out of energy, you haven't been sleeping very much, you're just not doing very well, and you need to change something. And for me, I wanted to keep doing things like YouTube and stuff, but I kept expecting to have the energy to do it, and I just didn't. Just continually didn't have the energy to do what I wanted to do. I didn't have the energy to edit anymore, and I didn't have the drive to do it either. I think before I mostly had the drive to do it, even though I didn't have the energy to do it, and so I was powering through. And so that's one of the things that I think that I've figured out more recently, is that I actually wasn't doing very well. I was always, when I was younger, was considered the guy who had like lots of energy and was always bouncing off the walls and stuff, and I think I kind of sort of kept up for lack of a better word, kept up a facade of that for a while. Probably because it's mostly what was expected of me. And then at one point in the past year or so, I just realized that my health was bad and that I didn't feel well very often. And I was always saying that I was tired. And, I just always blamed it on lack of sleep and stuff, which I wasn't getting much sleep, but that was a whole nother can of worms. And so suddenly I just realized I need to take a step back and I need to figure out what the heck is going on with my health. I had more friends and family and stuff who had figured out health problems of their own and things, and had suddenly realized that it was very normal to figure out your health problems, and B, that my experience was not as normal as it should have been, even if some of the people around me were having more similar experiences. I always thought it was interesting when I was growing up in high school and stuff like that. It always seemed like everybody else was just better at everything than I was. And part of that was imposter syndrome, to be sure, which if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, just look it up. It's just Wikipedia will tell you plenty about it. But another part of it was that I was just physically not as well off as them. And for a long time, I had blamed it on my genetic issues with gluten, that I just didn't have as good a health, especially in my younger years, because of that. But I have been off of gluten for more than 10 years now, and although my health did improve in certain smaller areas, it didn't get a lot better in other areas. And so I just started to assume, okay, well, apparently I just have bad health in general, just bad general health, because of the shortcomings that my body didn't develop as well because of the gluten problems, and so now it has permanent problems. But if you feel like you have a permanent problem, you should certainly look into it and make sure that there isn't a solution for it before you just accept it as life. That's one of the things that I have started to learn about my health, is that my body should work properly. And so if it's not, then there's probably an issue, and I need to look into it and figure out what's wrong with it. So essentially, I realized that I was just not doing very well, and that I've never done super well, and I wasn't entirely sure why. And then a family member of mine, my sister, actually found out something of a genetic issue that my family has, other than the whole gluten thing, although maybe they're connected, I don't know, of a issue with properly utilizing vitamin B, specifically vitamin B12 and folic acid are the two main ones, although I believe vitamin B6 is also somewhat problematic. But anyway, the long and short of it is that my body doesn't utilize the raw form of it very well, and so I need it in an already it's called methylation is the process. Essentially, I need it to be partially ready to be digested already when it enters my system, or my system will not do a good job with it. And because of that, my body is also always struggling to maintain like toxins and stuff, because it's constantly being bombarded with so much of vitamin B that it doesn't have time to filter out other toxins very well. And so things just sit in my system and just wreak havoc long term. And I didn't know about this. I knew that I had issues with some things, like caffeine was really, really effective on me, and Benadryl was really, really effective on me. I knew medications were extra effective sometimes and not effective at all other times, and it was weird, and I didn't understand why. And so as I learned about this, it all started to make sense. And then I started looking back, and I started realizing how many times in my life this was probably a key factor in what was going on. And so now that I've kind of figured that stuff out, I have a lot more energy and a lot more drive to get stuff done. But my brain is still in a gear of, you're not well enough to do that. It's all about habits now. And so I have to work slowly, because my brain does not form habits quickly. It really does not. And so over the last few months, I have been slowly figuring out better habits and doing a better job. I go to the gym like daily now. I take these salt baths that I'm supposed to take that have been really helping me a lot. I have been taking my daily vitamins, which I had never been good at, because if I don't take them, then I feel like garbage. And all of this just accounts for so many of my problems. And weirdly, I had self-diagnosed some of these problems already, and was already taking the right vitamins and stuff to circumvent it. Like, for instance, I had noticed that especially in my adult life, I had gained a lot of anxiety, and I didn't know why. And that was really translating into my ability to do things on Twitter and on YouTube, because there's so much anxiety-inducing things on those platforms that it's very, very easy to get like a lot of anxiety when you're using them. And so that was like causing me to like freeze up a lot whenever I was using Twitter or using YouTube. And so I had heard through the grapevine that magnesium can help with anxiety. And so I started taking magnesium, and it had started to help quite a bit. Although it didn't fix all of my problems, it was better. And now I come to find out that specifically for my genetic problem, taking magnesium is supposed to be very helpful. And so I just figured that one out accidentally. And ever since I've started taking the other things that I'm supposed to take, my anxiety has gotten way better too. So that just to say that there were a lot of little issues that had started compounding and getting worse and worse. And I noticed that they had gotten worse in my adult life, not better. There were things that I was able to compare to more recently to what my life was like when I was a teenager and now. And I was like, these are getting worse. I'm not doing better than I was. I'm doing worse. So there's still another problem in here somewhere that I'm not able to figure out. Because if I continue to get worse, even though I've supposedly cut out, for instance, gluten that is causing problems for me, then there's another key thing here that I am missing that I need to figure out. And so finding out all of that stuff has been a huge deal. That has helped me in so many ways. And some days I still feel kind of out of it and don't feel great. And I'm like, maybe it's not fixing my problems. Maybe it's not helping. Maybe it's just like selective memory or something. But then like whenever I have like a day where I have forgotten to take my vitamins, for instance, or something, a couple days in a row, I start to feel bad, and I'm like, oh no, that's real. That actually is a real thing. And there's some like super demonstrable things. Like I used to have, and you can probably even go back and see in some of my videos, I had dark purple circles under both eyes essentially all the time. And that wasn't just lack of sleep, because sometimes I sleep fine. And so whenever that went away, it was like I was sleep deprived even when I was sleeping. So there's still a struggle there. There's still things that I have to work out. There's still some health issues probably that, they may be coming from other things and stuff, but we're working it out and we're figuring things out, and I've been doing a lot better, and that's allowed me to have the energy to do more. What I need now is the drive to do more, because unfortunately, and anybody who has any chronic illnesses will know this, even if you have a good day when you have energy, when you have chronic illness, you don't always realize that you do, because you don't feel motivated to do things, because your brain has taught you that you don't have energy to do things, so you shouldn't do things because you need to conserve. Your body is a machine, and it only has so much fuel in the tank. And so even when there's excess fuel in the tank, your body doesn't necessarily want to use that, because it knows maybe it won't have that energy later, so it should hold on to it for now. And even though that can be helpful and that is a good defensive mechanism, it is actually not good if you have gotten better. And I have gotten a lot better. I've got more energy. I have more motivation. I just haven't been able to translate it into better habits very well yet, although I'm working towards it. And so now I'm going to get back into making videos. So I want you guys to try to help me hold myself accountable for that, because now it's habits time. It's time to make those good habits. So I'm going to be going and meeting with my brother-in-law, who's one of my best friends, on a weekly basis, and we're gonna work on our computer stuff together, so that I have a thing like every Monday or every Tuesday or whenever it's gonna be. We're gonna meet together at a coffee shop and get work done on our computers. Well, if I don't have work to do on my computer that day, then I'm gonna be sitting in a coffee shop for like 4 to 8 hours doing nothing but watching YouTube, I guess. I don't know. So I want to have work to do for that. So I need to make sure I have the videos ready to be edited on those days. And so those are the types of things that I'm going to try to do, is have things like that, like days where I have to do a thing, or days where I'm going to do a thing, so that I make progress and I do better anyway. So I've gotten a lot of stuff figured out as far as my health, and now I'm working on habits, and now I've got a really good setup here for my recording and stuff like that. I have more room than I did in my little recording closet, which I still really like my recording closet, and we'll probably eventually get to where we're doing videos in there and live streams in here. But that's going to require another computer setup, and I just don't have a good enough computer setup for that right now, and with the computer parts shortages, I can't do that. So you get the same content for my live streams as you get in my videos. So, and I know people will say, oh, don't overdo it, don't push yourself too hard, but I need to push myself right now. That's why I'm making this video. That's why I'm trying to tell you, is I need to do better, because now it's habits forming time, it's motivation time, it's drive time. Let's get in the car, let's go, boom shakalaka, it's time, baby. We're back, and I've said this before, that I'm back and better than ever, and it's not always been as accurate, but now it is. I actually am doing better than ever, and so it's time for us to get started back in on it. So thank you so much for being with me through all of this, for your support on Twitter, and for those of you who have been over at my Twitch, watching over there, thank you for supporting me there. And for those of you who are still somehow around on my YouTube and are watching videos, because there's still daily views coming in, and some of you go back and watch my old videos, I know, and whenever I do post a video, there's still like 50 of you that usually watch. So for those of you who are still supporting me here, like, I just can't believe it. It's awe-inspiring and so motivating to know that even whenever I have to take these like long hiatuses for health reasons and stuff like that, that I'm still gonna have people like you watch my videos when I come back. So even if I only have like 10, 15 people who watch this stuff, it's totally worth it to me. So you're gonna keep seeing content here. So the content may vary in style and in what types of videos I'm making and in quality, but that's going to be in the backseat for now. We're gonna improve quality and we're gonna improve consistency and stuff as we go along. For now, it's just time to make videos. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support and your prayers. Hope you have a wonderful day. And for now, this is Nathan Blake signing off for Nathanblakegames, reminding you that games are art and art is important, and so are you. Make sure you take care of yourself and make sure you pay attention to what your body's telling you. And if you have any health problems, please get those looked into. Sayonara.